Welcome to the Get It Done podcast with Erin, the podcast where I talk to business owners about their business, allowing them to share their business. Um, the reasoning for the podcast is I get to talk to a lot of people in the work that I do. So at some point, the conversation eventually leads to business in one way or another. And a lot of times, so many people have a goal to start a business, a desire to start a business, but they're just not starting. And it's not because of any other thing than the spirit of fear. So my goal, my prayer for this podcast is that anybody that is watching, anybody that is listening, the spirit of fear will just be uprooted out of them. They will get up and they will get it done, whatever the it is. So as far as guests go, I am talking to complete strangers, people I've never met before. I'm not familiar with their businesses. I just find it more interesting. I've had an eventful weekend, y'all. I just find it more interesting to talk to people that I don't know. So we're getting to know them together. So I will go ahead and today's guest. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Erin.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. So I'll just let you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your business.
Yeah, I am Rachel Elder. I am a mental health therapist that works with couples and individuals in Washington State. So I have my own couples counseling practice. It's me and one other therapist. So we're a very small group practice supporting Washington State clients.
Nice. I love that. And how long have you been doing that?
This is year 7 of being a therapist.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I've kind of done there's a bunch of varieties of being a therapist, but I worked in community mental health, private practice on my own, group practices, and the last year have transitioned to being a group practice owner with one employee.
Nice. What caused this transition? Was it like always a goal or?
No. I think as you started any career, everything evolves. So I actually thought I was going to work in the community mental health setting for my whole career. And I burnt out really quickly and realized it just wasn't going to be sustainable for me. So I started trial and error, worked for myself, which being your own practice owner, marketing, being the therapist, learning all the behind the scenes. There was a lot of self-doubt. There was also some judgment from other therapists in the field who'd taken longer to get there, kind of saying like, maybe you should spend more time where you're at. So I kind of got in my head, got in my way, and then joined a group practice because I thought, you know what, I need to work with more established people. I'm not quite ready. And that was a great experience, but hit that place where I was recognizing like I need more. I want to do more. And I feel like I've hit a limit. And so I decided to go out on my own.
Wait, so once you joined the group, looking back at that time, do you think that it was beneficial or do you think you could have just kept it pushing on your own?
Oh, I think both.
Yeah.
I think it was beneficial to watch another business run in that setting. And I always say, like, if I could turn back the clock, I wouldn't have given up mine quite yet. Just because I think if I would have given myself space and time to develop this business owner capacity, I would have been doing it much longer.
Yeah, because that's all it is just figuring it out.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of business owners go into things thinking that businesses should be a certain way. And business is just our idea. It's what we create. It's our art, really. Yeah. So I think a lot of business owners, especially like in the beginning, they would get so much faster if they just go into it creating whatever it is that they want in a business, opposed to doing what they think they should do.
Yeah. And I didn't understand at the time, like what it truly meant to be visible and how much effort, energy, and time goes into that.
Yeah.
And so
it's a lot of work. That's a whole nother position.
Yeah. I remember learning from, I think, a business coach I worked with one time talking about like your results are 3 months away from where you're at. And a lot of times I know like in the beginning I was so focused on, but the result isn't here right now. So I must be doing something wrong, or I need to change my system, my process, my marketing efforts instead of just staying diligent.
You just got to put in the work.
Yeah. And I think that's what happened. I was 6 months in thinking and hearing from others, like, I need more time in the field. So go learn from someone else instead of just saying, you're 6 months in, 6 months from now, it's going to look completely different. But I didn't have that mindset or skill yet.
Yeah. So when I ended up going to esthetician school. No. So this was not the plan at all. So I went to esthetician school, and then in esthetician school, I was only doing esthetician school for like a side hustle on the weekends while I did full time. I ended up quitting my job, going to esthetician school. My story is so crazy, but why am I telling you this? Oh, okay. So I went to esthetician. Sorry. Went to esthetician school. And once I got out, I just hit the ground running. I didn't know what I was doing. But even with the podcast, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like figuring it out as I go. And I think that's what we do. That's the beauty and the joy of having our own business. We like create it and do it and enjoy it, really.
Yeah. And I think that doesn't get communicated a lot in the entrepreneurial space. You know, we are always looking at like, well, they must have given us a certain amount of time, or they went and had a business degree or something. But so many businesses don't have a business degree or any background and knowledge. It's just a passion.
Even I have a business degree. I have a business marketing degree, but that has like, I tell people I didn't learn anything in college, but to turn in my homework on time. Like, college is just, I don't know, but it's not teaching you how to run a business. The only way that you're going to learn how to run a business is to actually get in there and do it. So even us with degrees, it's like, girl, that don't matter. But that's why people are doing it without degrees, because it's not a requirement.
Yeah, the degree doesn't mean that you're going to be more successful than someone without the degree. And I think I did my undergrad in business and psychology and just chose the psychology route. And so I always appreciate it.
But I remember with psychology.
Yeah, I think a lot.
I was like, all these theories, no, thank you. I am not memorizing all of this. Yes.
What I remember from this class I took, I think it was a marketing class, but we had this like game we played for the whole semester, and the goal was to be the most successful. And I was paired with a group of 3 other classmates, and we were the most successful, but none of us could tell you why. We literally were just like, this seems like a good move this week. Let's try it out. And
it's
then
a gamble.
Some weeks it was really successful. Other weeks, not always. But those successful weeks allowed the not so great weeks to keep going. And I always go back to that.
It gives you the momentum.
No idea. We had, we just needed momentum. We needed to just trust ourselves, kind of listen to our instincts and just see what worked. And when it didn't work, not give up.
Pivot.
Go back. Yeah. And I always think of that class because it's so funny. I'm like, why did we do well? And when we had to present it at the end of the year, we were like, we don't really know why, but here's what
it was the innovation and the grit you guys had behind it, and that turned into momentum. That's all that was.
Yeah.
But because a lot of businesses, they do the same thing over and over and over and over again, and they never pivot when it needs to be done, or if they do, they'll do it too late or too soon. So just getting it right at the right time. I think it is.
And I think being willing to pivot and test it out. Like, I can try this, and if it doesn't work, that's all right. I can pivot again, or I can go back to what I know too.
Because what works. So when you change things, you always know what worked the first time. So you just go back to that. That's the key. You got it. What are you grateful for today, Rachel?
I feel like I always say this, but I am super grateful for the flexibility of my career. I've got a 4-year-old, and so I am the drop-off, pick-up parent. If she's sick, typically it's me, although my husband took last week off when she was sick, so it's not always me. But I am really grateful to have a career that feels purposeful and meaningful, and also allows me to be in the phase of life I'm in with flexibility and adaptability as needed. Because sometimes I feel called, like, maybe I should just go back to a 9-to-5 or something that's less stressful. And then I think about losing that, and I'm like, nope, I'm leaning into that and grasping onto it.
That's what I say. Really grateful. Yeah. I tell people all the time, the reason why I'm still in business is because if I do think about going back to the 9-to-5, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. Has to work. I'm not going back to a 9-to-5.
It's got to be really enticing to go back into that direction.
I don't know what will bring me back to that, because not even money could. I mean,
Yeah.
you never say never, but like, no, thank you. So far in business, what are you most proud of?
Hmm. If we're leaning that word pivot, I think I'm really proud that I'm able to pivot and I'm willing to be creative and take a trial and error mindset. I often sometimes with colleagues, they're like, I can't believe you're trying something new or doing something different. And in my head, I'm just like, oh, it just sounds fun. It sounds like something new to try. I'm willing to explore it. And I am proud of that I don't have that limiting belief that I used to have or that imposter syndrome. It's still there, but it's very quiet and
It
not
doesn't
as
stop you.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so very proud of you. So a 4-year-old, do you guys want more children?
We are just staying with the one child.
Nice.
We're moving that route. We started to expand and unfortunately had a miscarriage and kind of let that
Sorry.
be a moment of us recognizing that, if we have another child, we will love that child well. And we're really happy with what we've got too. So really kind
Yes,
of just
that is a
leaning in
great
like,
blessing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, she's
4-year-olds
wonderful.
are fun. That's a fun age. It's a lot of energy for sure.
It's a lot of sassiness. I was not prepared for
Yes.
that. We are in that
Yeah.
stage.
I used to work with 3 to 5-year-olds. So they're so much fun. But yes, especially the girls, they're very, very sassy.
Sassy. I couldn't believe it. Yesterday, I told my in-laws, I was like, "That's not my kid. I don't know who that is, but this
Yeah.
this sassiness coming out, I've not met this person."
How funny. I always say no girls allowed. No girls are allowed. I just want boys.
I want a
um
girl so bad, and I'm getting it.
well, it's not even, it's about the attitude. I don't want to have to comb the hair. Girls, you got to dress them up. Boys, you could just throw on shorts, t-shirts, haircut. I'm like, just give me that. But yeah. One of your favorite things you think that is about you being in business? The flexibility, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and I think the creativity. I
Yeah.
like that trial and error mindset. I just am always like, let's be creative. Let's try something new marketing wise. Let's um, be creative in how we service our clients. Like today, my 9 o'clock session, I didn't go in with the thought that we were going to do some letter writing, and it just kind of naturally appeared. And
Nice.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to that instinct of say, let's spend time doing this, and this is therapeutic. And it wasn't planned, but just being creative and willing to let what's happening in the moment kind of uh, not stir up in a bad way, but stir up what we might naturally
Just
lead into.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. When you said write a letter, I was like, oh, I haven't written a letter in a long time and I need to do that. I'm going to do that today.
Yeah.
As far as all of my therapist friends, they all find it hard to, I guess, disconnect from work, and they
Mhm.
get home and they're taking work like mentally.
Yeah.
How do you do that? If you do, like, do you have any tips? Because I don't know what to tell them.
Yeah, I think that's very real and valid, and it's hard. What I did in the beginning is pretty similar to what I do now. I used to come home and play the piano for a few minutes because
Oh,
if I didn't, I realized what I was feeling and the stories I was holding were getting impacted in my marriage. My poor husband, he's such a trooper, but he'd be
yeah.
like, I don't know what happened today, but something happened and it wasn't my fault. So I started
Right.
to say, like,
Yeah.
give me 10 to 15 minutes to just play around on my piano and do something to just help my
Take
brain
your mind
recognize
off
I'm
of
going from
it.
work to home. And then it got to the point where I was doing that in my car before leaving work. I was doing kind of a mindfulness exercise just to think about, like, I'm visualizing leaving this here so I can go home. And then now, my own business owner, I work from home primarily. What I try to do, it doesn't happen all the time, but I try to move my body before I go pick up my little one. So I either
Mm.
run,
Oh,
right now I'm
yes.
line dancing, so I'm practicing line
Nice.
dances. So I just try to do something to physically move the energy because I feel it a lot in my body. And anything that feels like I'm just channeling it out or moving it has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
So some kind
That
of
is a
transition.
great. For me, like when I go through heartbreak, because that's the only time I really feel stuff like that.
Oh,
But the gym is like, I get
yeah.
home, I'm like, okay, I'm healed now. Kind of, but it's very, yes, moving your body is a great way to de-stress.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think most people think about you, but it just isn't true, if there's anything?
Oh, that I'm always psychoanalyzing them. Every time I introduce myself, like, to new friends or people I meet and they hear I'm a therapist, they're like, "Oh, are you judging me? Are you analyzing me
Oh,
right now?" I'm
how
like,
funny.
"No, I'm
I'm like,
not."
I'm not a robot. Sorry.
Yeah, it's, like, naturally me, but I'm not sitting here going, do you have anxiety? Do you have
Taking mental
depression?"
notes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious about you. I prefer more deeper conversations, but I'm not doing that to, like, hold it against you or
It's
try
just
to
who you
treat you.
are.
Most of the
Yeah.
time, I'm just like, "I just want a friend. I don't actually wanna be a therapist right now,
Right.
even though it's always there. I just wanna hang out with someone and talk with you or
Right.
meet new people." So, people always
That's
assume
hard.
that. Like, no, I'm actually not doing that consciously right now, so coming out that way, that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, that has to be hard. This is another thing we talked. I had a girl talk, and we talked about one of the girls mentioned how difficult it was meeting new friends, as like more older women, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
how is that with you?
I don't have the answer. I think it's so hard. I I think there's, like, where I'm at right now is I have, like, some mom friends, but when it comes to actually just hanging out without our kids, it feels like we have to plan it 6 months in advance.
Oh wow.
And so I get in my head a lot like, "Oh, people don't wanna be my friend," or maybe I'm too much. Maybe I go too deep too quickly because I don't wanna do surface level. It's about me, and I just have to constantly remind myself that this is a phase of life. It's hard, it's challenging. Similar to a business, you have to put yourself out there, which is risky. Some people are gonna like it, some people aren't. Some people are not your cup of tea, they're and you're not theirs, and it's
That's us.
okay.
Yeah.
And so it's I think for me, it's finding some of that gratitude of like, okay, hey, so and so reached out to you this week. You have friends. You may not get to physically see them or talk to them all the time, and you have people there. And be willing to take the risk when you are somewhere and you feel a vibe or you feel like a connection. Take that risk and say, do you want to get coffee? You want to grab some dinner? Because most of the time I'm just blocking myself from feeling like I have friends or have friendship. And so when I go into that mode of like I'm super lonely, I start to more explore like, okay, what am I doing to put myself out there? Am I reaching out or am I feeding the loneliness by having actions that support it?
Yeah. I was the only child for so long. So like I have friends, but being alone, like I'm just like I would much rather like
It's
go by
what you
myself.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I have wonderful friends. I've even met friends like within the last 2 years, which is strange because I wouldn't say I'm not friendly, but I'm probably not usually open to new people just because people are people.
I think
But
what I have struggled the most with being an adult and maintaining friendships is that I had such great friendships like elementary, middle school, high school,
yeah,
college, and the grief that comes with you changing and evolving and your life changing and evolving, those people that you thought were forever aren't forever anymore. And I think
yep,
it's so hard to not let that impact of like who you are as a friend and also to learn how to let go and recognize this was meaningful. This person was really important for me. And in this phase, this stage of life, they're not journeying with me anymore. And I get to feel sad about that. And it also doesn't have to mean that I'm this
anything more than
negative.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
that I'm a bad friend. It just means this door is closing. Other doors are going to
Some things
open.
just aren't forever. That's what I tell myself because like a friendship hurt is like a relationship hurt. Like
Oh, I think it's so
it's a
I never
breakup.
Yeah, that's why I call it. I'm like, I've never been through a divorce, but that's what it feels like. I
Yeah,
feel like
it doesn't feel like divorce. I've been divorced, but
okay, good. It's
it does not feel like that. But
not
it
as
is
painful.
hurtful to
Yeah.
break up from our friends. But I just think sometimes we outgrow each other. Sometimes their life is moving in a way that I don't want to be a part of, or my life is living in a way that they just can't keep up with. Or, I don't know. It's just all these things. Um, I don't agree with what everybody's out there doing. So I can't be friends with certain people just because of the things that they're, or whatever the situation is. But I just have to move forward. And that has been a great lesson for me this year. I just have
Mm.
to be able to like take the L, like feel the pain when it's there,
Yeah.
get up and go to the gym or do whatever, like focus on whatever it is that I'm doing. And enjoy what we had when we had it. And when it's gone, it's just gone. Like nothing is forever. People die. I learned that at my grandpa's funeral when I was like, wait, we're just supposed to move on. So that's
Mhm.
what we do. Even with hurtful situation in life, we just move on. I mean, of course, we feel the pain while it's there, but we got to focus on life. People
Yeah.
get slowed down by just stuff that, yeah, that it is hurtful, but it's like, girl, come on, let's go. We got stuff to do.
And I think
So,
we can
but
make meaning of things, but that reminder, like, we get to decide what that meaning can be, and we
yep,
actually are more powerful than we realize, right? I can
yep,
say, right, this friendship ending means I'm a bad friend, or I can say the meaning of it is that they were here to be a part of this part of my
bring whatever
life,
they brought.
teach me, develop me, and I'm going to have more opportunities like that with another friendship or meeting new people. And so really testing ourselves, like which one do we want to lean into? But ultimately we get to decide. It's
Yep,
not black or white. It's really
yep. It's a
what I like.
choice.
Yeah, I like to call it choose your own adventure. What adventure would you like to take?
Yeah, that's our whole life. It's just making the right or wrong choices. Sometimes we make the wrong choices, but even those choices turn out to be a great benefit to our lives, whether
Yeah.
it's the lesson that we learned or whatever it is. But life is just a bunch of choices. Make your choice, girl.
Yeah.
That's all it really is. Excuse me. I have had the most adventurous weekend, like, and I can't believe I'm up. I've been up very early. I can't believe it. What would you say motivates you most to just keep it pushing, keep the innovation going, that you, all the things that you have, all the things that you're doing, what would you say motivate you to do those things?
Mm. I think there's a lot of things, but I love being a woman-owned business. I love being a mom in business and being an example. And I think oftentimes I go back to my daughter right now. It's not when I started business, I planned to be a mother, but wasn't a mother. And I always go back to her of this reminder of like what I'm creating and developing is an opportunity for her to see what can exist for her as she grows up, and that she's wildly capable. Whatever path it is, as long as she's feeling lit up, she feels purposeful, that's what matters. And I want to
That's
be
the
that
key.
reflection and example. So I think that helps me a lot of just like, what am I modeling? And some days I'm like, oh, I'm not modeling the healthy side of entrepreneurship, but it helps me recenter and reground of like, okay, let's get back to that then. And
Yeah,
just getting to help her see that, if she wants to work a 9 to 5, great. If she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, great. If she wants to be an entrepreneur like her parents, awesome. And I just want her to know where she wants to go, which is right now an astronaut and an ambulance driver. If that's what
oh,
she wants to do, great. I hope they can merge together in the future for her. But
really,
I just want her to follow her dreams and truly believe in them.
I love that. About maybe 25 years from now, and she's like, Mom, tell me about life when I was 4. What will you have to tell her about this season in life?
Mm. It was busy. There was so many opportunities to watch her personality and characteristics kind of present themselves as a 4-year-old. I think mom and dad had finally in a good swing of like work life balance, marriage, parenting balance. They were taking time for themselves while also pouring into her. And it was just it was enjoyable. It's been an enjoyable year of her being 4, and I feel happy with my work. I feel happy with our life. I feel happy with our opportunities, and I feel really satisfied.
I love that. What would you say that you are just absolutely unbeatable at?
Oh my gosh, people? I don't know. Absolutely unbeatable. Creating ideas. I'll
Nice.
go with that. That's always the dream job. Like if someone presented me with that, I would leave my business just to be
That
an
is your
idea
job
generator.
at your business. You
It
create
is, but I'm
ideas in
like,
your business.
if someone could give me the health benefits and take away all the other like business stresses and just say,
Make it
this is what you're
easier
gonna
and you're
do all
still doing
day,
what you love.
I would be doing that. Yeah.
Yes, that would make things a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Beach days or rainy days in the house?
What was it?
You select one. Beach days or rainy days in the house, just for fun.
Rainy days in the house. I'm not a beach or
Really?
sunshine
Oh,
person.
you're in Washington.
I'm in Washington. I moved here.
Yes.
I love it. Today's a moody day here, and most people are like, "Where's the sunshine?" I'm like, "It's great. I have a sweatshirt on. I have layers."
In the house chilling.
In the house chilling.
Yes, I would enjoy going there like for vacation just to get like a nice room with glass to ceiling walls and just see like trees and let it rain the whole time. But at home, beach days every day. I'm a California girl.
Yeah, I could not make it in California. I'm not cut out for it.
I love it. I love it. Who would you say is your ideal client? If you could pick.
We primarily work with couples. I love people who are recognizing there's a dynamic or situation in their relationship that is not serving them, and they want to change it, they want to develop it, and they recognize that the change is within themselves as well as their partner, versus it being my partner has to change for this to change. So they're growth minded. They want to understand why the behaviors or dynamics are at play. They want to explore the past and how it impacts the present and future. And they're going to take what they learn and apply it. They're not showing up week by week.
What are you doing it for?
Everything. Yeah. They want, I always tell people like, it's so beneficial to the business that clients are seeing me. And I also want you to graduate. I want you to get to the point that you're like, I don't need you, Rachel. We got this, we've developed it, and we trust ourselves. I don't want, even if you see me for years, I want it to be because you want to, you find it so beneficial, but it's not because you're still stuck.
Yeah. Marriage is hard. Therapy is hard. Like marriage therapy. It was just I wouldn't say all of it. I mean, because I imagine something, it has to be way easier than what I went through because it was pure hell. So I know that there has to be an opposite end to that. But it was just very, 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 like probably the most challenging thing I've ever done in life. But I was very young and very, very stubborn. It's work.
It's any kind of therapy's work. It doesn't end. It continues on after the session's over. And I think, individual therapy is hard work. When you're doing relationship therapy and there's 2 or more people, you're asking each person to look at themselves more than the other. And that's hard to do when you're like, but we're coming in for our relationship. And it's like, yes, but I need you to focus on what you can change and what you can do. And they need to do that so that then the relationship can change.
I didn't have that understanding at all. I didn't understand. And I don't even think I was even open to understanding, but I didn't understand the logic behind it. So if I don't understand the logic, it's hard for me to do. Like, what am I doing? So all I knew was I was going with him to talk to the woman, and we had assignments to do once we got home. But it wasn't like hitting at the core. Like it wasn't. But like I said, it was because I just didn't understand it. So introducing that to your clients, you even knowing that, because I had never done therapy before. So it seems like the therapist, if they include that in the intro, then it makes it easier, I would assume.
There's so many different ways as a therapist, as a couples therapist, of working with couples.
Because
And I
people are
think
so
sometimes,
different.
yeah, and I think even sometimes I fall into this of forgetting, like, wait a minute, you don't actually know how to do this. I've got to
Mm-hmm.
teach it and model it.
Yep.
And even I'm guilty sometimes of being like, come on, like, you know what to do. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
actually, you
She
don't.
doesn't.
That's why you're here. Well,
Yep.
let's start there first. And I think there's more shifting towards that than there ever has been. But as a therapist, I forget too. I'm like, you're here because you want to work on things, right? That's great. But if you don't have the tools or the knowledge of how to
Well,
do
what are we
that
doing?
well, of
Yep.
course you're going to keep repeating the old patterns, or you're like, this is what I know. So
It's like
why
taking a
don't
math class and they're not explaining the the
you
problems. They like, here,
that's a good
take the
example.
test.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna ask you. Oh, so 10 years down the line from now, business wise, where do you see you headed? If you could guess or imagine.
I think I will still be doing couples work. I right now I hope to maybe have a few more therapists in the practice who love couples work and are super passionate about it. I think I would also like to do more kind of teaching, training, educating, whether it's couples work or just kind of the mindset of being a business owner as a therapist. And I always hope and envision that there's just lots of creative ways that we're serving people, whether it's therapy or workshops, classes, retreats, but that we are just really focused on, or myself, creating more enduring love. I always say, like, I want to change that divorce statistic, even though that's a very high arching goal, but that there will be more couples who are coming to me and leaving connected and changing in a healthy way versus it feeling too late. And they're not getting to have that change or transformation that they're wanting when they come to see me.
Nice. Um, I say you'll be there in maybe like 2 years or so. Like
Oh,
that'll
thank you.
be. Is there anything that we have not discussed that you like to share? Any questions? Anything you like to say?
I don't know. I've loved just the like free for all. We're going back and forth. It's been really fun.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, come on the Get It Done podcast with Erin, because it's very relaxing. It just feels like we have a cup of coffee and we're just hanging out.
Girl, that's the only type of work I could do. It has to be fun. It has to be chill. I'm an esthetician, so like my work is very, very relaxing. I live a very relaxing life. I tell people all the time. So that's what all my friends, they're like party girls, so they know not to call me for parties. They're like, I'm the boring friend. Call me when we're going to the beach or like something to eat. Other than that, leave me alone.
I'm your chill and relax friend.
Yes. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I am so very proud of all the things that you are doing, that you will do. So congratulations. I'm super excited for you. I will send you the links once I get everything all wrapped up. I'll send you the links to all the platforms that the podcast will be on. But thank you so very much, Rachel, for being here.
Thanks for having me, Erin. This was awesome.
Thank you. I will hear from you, or you'll hear from me soon. Have a good week.
Thanks.
Episode 61. Like, I'm still enjoying talking to each and every business owner. I tell you guys this probably every or almost every episode, but I've talked to 60 entrepreneurs. Out of 60, I've only talked to two men. So the women are out here killing it. I'm enjoying talking to the ladies, but the guys, where are you guys at? So if you are a man, if you are anybody in business, I don't want to exclude anyone, but if you are in business, you are a business owner, and you would love to share your story, love to get on here and talk to me and tell us about your business, I would love to hear from you. If you are, whatever platform you're watching this on, you can just message me, or you can text me at 310 area code 908-0468. This episode is sponsored by Matilda's Corner, all natural plant-based skincare products and services. Don't forget to thank God for your blessings. Don't forget to say your prayers. Don't forget to take care of your skin. Have a good week. I think I'll be back tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Wednesday. See you later.